guys, my name is Moghelingz and welcome back to a brand new show called Bedroom Chat, where I bring my exciting, most talented guests to the show for us to just play games, have intimate chats, and most importantly, chat about what we do in our own bedrooms. Because guys, let's be honest, the only place that has seen you in your weakest and in your most truest form is your bedroom. And in today's episode, we have a media personality, we have an actress, we have a speaker. Guys, today I was blessed to sit next to Bahumi. Right?
It's amazing.
I ate that up, right?
You ate that up. Show's over, guys. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
It's a wrap.
That's all we needed. So we need a best introduction of life.
Right?
Who's so easy?
I mean, who's that? Bahumi, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You look so pretty as
I'm
always.
aware.
It's an honor to have you on my show today.
Oh, thanks.
And
I appreciate it.
Let's speak about how we met.
How did we meet? Oh, I remember.
I remember
how we met virtually. I was FaceTiming another friend of ours, a mutual friend.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know, like this face decides to answer. And I was like, who the hell is this? And so I wanted to hang up immediately. And then, no, I'm kidding. So that's actually, we met through,
Really?
Yeah, we met through a friend. We met through, can I say the name? We did. We did. Remember?
Okay, yeah, that. It is super,
But
super.
physically, was the first time we met was at that games night.
Right?
Oh, it was so lit. Oh, you were such a vibe. Oh, you were such a vibe.
Please, I did that.
Yeah, that night was interesting.
You don't want to know what
You
happened.
don't want to know.
I've always known you, ever since you've made it to the big screen.
Nini, like last week, Banele on Manga.
We know you. I personally introduced you as this child, and I just fell in love with you. Like the minute I laid my eyes on you, like, guys. Hi man, it's sweetheart.
Make them turn.
Right?
You call me cute. Who's a chica, Banele, guys? Imagine, it's been 15 minutes
Guys,
after
let me
the
tell you
show.
something. The only person who tells me what's in movie. No. This is not debatable.
So like I'm that person, I don't, it's probably a toxic trait or not, but like I'm that person who, like, if I give you jabs, if I say, ooh, Ngobubi, you must know good like, oh, today, pressure. Yeah, like I'm just like, it's just too much, you know what I mean?
But getting to know you, I've realized and I've learned that you are a Christian. Like, you are a full-on Christian. Bahumi. Tell us about that. Like, how did that come about? When did you
Christianness.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, I don't know how to put it, but like I'm the person who, like, if I believe in something or believe something, I go full throttle. I mean, I don't even think that you can be a half Christian or like a full Christian. I just think that like belief is belief, right? And if you believe something, you believe it, and so that makes you it, right? So just by virtue of the fact that I believe in Jesus Christ and I believe that He died for me and that He lives, then that makes me Christian. Now I can grow in my knowledge of Him and my understanding of Him, and that's just always something I've wanted to do and been interested in. You know what I mean? Like I want to know the person who made me. I'm just a very curious person. I mean, I research everything. So at the very least, the one thing that I'm going to research is my God, you know, the very person who is the reason why I'm here. I mean, I also feel like it's best to know the one being that loves me more than anyone and anything, unconditionally. I mean, you will judge me, I will judge you, my family will judge me, my pastors will judge me for crying out loud, but the one person who knows my, like, the true essence of my heart is God, and His idea of me is what matters most. And so I think that's why I'm just so invested in Him and in who He is, you know what I mean? That man loves me. My God, that man loves me. You can't love me more than that man, you know? So I think that's why I love him so much. I'm just...
And have you always been interested in knowing who your creator is from a young age? I
mean, Shamam, look, I think that I've just always been a very curious person, and church wasn't outside of that. So I think, I mean, the older I grew, the more I guess I could expand on my knowledge. My family wasn't really big on church until maybe I was like, maybe 12 or 13, whatever. So as a kid, I was still very curious about God, but I think I was just a lot more imaginative. So when they said, God sees everything, I thought that God was this huge being. You know what I mean? And he sees every single thing and I can't hide from him, and I was like, okay, now I can't do bad because God is watching with these gigantic ass eyes, and they said God carries you. I was like, am I on the pinky right now? Like, where am I? He mustn't do this, mustn't flip his finger and then I fall off or whatever. Like I said, so I lived with my grandmother when I was younger, but like maybe 5. They didn't go to church a lot, we didn't go to church a lot, but there was somebody like and then so she used to go to church. I used to go to church with her, but I only went to church with her because my grandmother would give me maloko like a besing tanga eyes. Because God will understand. Because so at least no God, how? And then as I grew, obviously with a better understanding of who God was, I was just like, whoa, so this is who he is? There must be so much more to him. And there's never knowing God fully, you know what I mean? And so I think even now, like I'm still constantly like searching, seeking, knowing. And then I find that the more I seek him, the more I get an understanding of who I am.
I love it when you say the more you seek God, the more you learn things about yourself, and which leads me to what I believe in, about believing that I am God or God lives within me, right? I don't want to judge by saying people have misinterpreted of what God is or what God is about, but there are things that obviously I don't agree to. But I also feel like taking some time off and getting to see God within me, and understanding the person that I am, and to actually realize, if you understand, bro, I don't want to speak to you today. You said there's no one who knows you
more than him,
that is why when I don't feel like praying, like Mela understand and I don't want to speak to you today, like can I just have my own time,
Well, for me, and I get what you're saying, but I think for me it's more like I'm like here with that one, right? And again, like to each his own. But I think, I remember, there were many times, in fact, to be honest, it's almost every day, where I don't feel like praying. One of the reasons why, or when I realize that is where I am, is when I guess come to the realization that it's because I have a warped understanding or warped idea of what prayer is, right? But until you understand that prayer is just talking to God and hearing what he has to say to you, you'll actually have a better, I guess, desire to speak to him. If I can put it this way, it's almost like, it's better than this, but just for context, it's like when you're with your partner, so to speak, you don't always want to talk to your partner all the time. You don't always want to have the same conversations with your partner. You don't always want to do the same things with your partner. And we have this idea of God being the structured way, and then that's why we start to think that God is boring, and that's why I don't want to talk to God and blah, blah. But sometimes for me, prayer is okay. And I know this may seem like very, very weird, but I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, we're going to sit down right now. Oh, I go, okay, God, I'm going to read this book. Do you want to read it with me? Okay, cool. And I don't even, sometimes I don't even necessarily hear a yes from him, but I'm like, I'm going to read this book with you. And then I read the book, and then it's almost like I feel like him giving me a different perspective, or like I get a certain perspective from the book. Or I watch a movie, and I'm like, oh God, do you want to watch this movie with me? Let's watch this movie. And I think for me, prayer is connecting with God in every single thing that you do.
Sure.
It's not so much this whole idea that I have to go to a corner and go down on my knees and blah blah. Like there's a plethora of ways to speak to God. God is very vast. You know what I mean? If you can then think of a person or yourself, and you realize that you don't like doing the same things the same way. You don't like having the same conversations in the same places or in the same spaces, and yet we are made in His very own image. Then that means that he too does not like doing the same things in the same way and having the same conversations all the time. He's very dynamic. He doesn't answer us the same way. He doesn't talk to us the same way. And I think when you have that understanding and that idea, you'll then realize that, oh, actually, I actually can pray or rather talk to God at literally every day. You know what I mean? At any time.
My biggest question, or what's lingering at the back of my head right now, is that knowing that you are an individual who's on her journey and seeking and finding more about God, having to be raised by a queer dad, what's your take on that conversation?
Look, I think that the idea, it actually even saddens me, I won't even lie to you, the idea that God cannot live in queer people is probably one of the greatest judgments, I think, by a lot of the Christian community, even by a lot of the world, really. God says that there is nothing that can separate us from His love. And it's almost as though many Christians have placed a hierarchy of things that can and can't. So and then it's like they put queerness at the very top of the hierarchy, right? They put queer, then they said sex, and then they said murder, and then they said lies. It's one of the saddest misconceptions, because it has separated a lot of queer people from God. And I have a lot of, I mean, it's not even just about my father. I think that this just goes back to just being human. If my father wasn't queer, this is still the same space that I would find myself in. God is just, God is love, and He can reach queer people just as quickly as He can reach anyone. You know what I mean? And this may upset, a lot of Christians. I don't even think the main question is, whether homosexuality is a sin or not, because if you really want the answer to that, you will find it. I think the bigger question is why it's treated differently. If it is a sin, why is it treated differently to other sins? And why are homosexuals treated differently to other sinners? And if it isn't a sin, then why again is it treated differently? I think that's the bigger issue here, where again we place things in like certain hierarchies, and we feel like we get to be the judges and the definers of things and of people, and we don't. That's why I said that your relationship with God is your relationship with God. It's the most personal thing ever, and you yourself have to find God for you and within you, and God truly can exist within you no matter how you're living. You know what I mean? It triggers me a lot. You guys are getting me like mad thingy. It really triggers me a lot, because I have seen people just getting hurt by this entire idea and not having a true relationship with God because of what they've been told by other people. Sorry.
Oh no.
Okay, it's gonna take me a moment. Hold on.
Don't to pick bomb.
It's just here. Okay, we're good. I've had people in the church come to me and they say, "Oh, I found out who your dad was," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, great." They're like, "Don't worry, we're praying for him." And then and I think I don't know if I can say it's the intent behind it. It was just uncouth, if I can put it that way. Like, just bad timing, bad approach. Just no. A lot of I serve in the church, so I think a lot of queer people felt comfortable to come to me and to share, their experiences, and I'd be there to help them and guide them. And then when I just hear their stories about just how they've been rejected by the church, it's just, I really hate it when people equate the church with God, and the church is not God. So the moment that we, the church, take the position of God, we have a habit of just pushing a lot of people away from who God really is.
This treatment has affected so many queer people in a bad way, because then they've distanced themselves from God because of what they've been told to say. I'm laughing about this, but I've been through that. I've been through that phase of my life where I thought, yes, in shame, I'm gay, man. I'm like, you know? I can't fully attest to say that I've seen God, I've witnessed God work in my life. And trust me, guys, look at me.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank
am I not a living testimony?
Hey!
Come on, right? So yeah, man, let's just wrap this conversation up and then move on to your work now. When did you graduate?
Graduate.
Yeah, I'm a graduate. Mr. West, Mr.
Who graduated 11 plus?
Yeah, see, this is a picture of me. I was in grade R.
I graduated in third year. So I think I graduated 2022. Like that was like the actual graduation ceremony, I think. So before then, I did law, dropped out. That's when me and Kanye, you know.
You related to Kanye, yeah.
And then I went to do exactly what I want to do, which was film directing and writing. I actually went there for producing initially, and then I realized I think I can learn producing outside of this. And then I went for directing, and then I sucked at writing in first year. And I don't like sucking, so I chose writing. Yeah, and then I did writing, and then I freaking excelled. I mean, like I was like top of my class. And then and so then that all went on pause essentially. It's something that I really want to take on this year and focus a little bit more on. The acting just kind of took lead, and I think it's still there. You know, I'm still leading in that, but I definitely want to. I mean, I think I can do things simultaneously. So I want to write, direct, and act all at once.
Sure, heavy.
So listen, I can do all things.
That's so beautiful. Now tell us about the new role that you landed. Like, what is it about? Who is this character that you are playing?
See, that's the one that's currently out right now. It's called Grown Woman. I play the character of Nokolo. So the show is about this grown woman who is in her 50s and she's dating somebody young in her 20s. I know a lot about that. And and then they have a child, and so I happen to be the child.
Oh.
Yes. It's funny because I actually had I could relate a little more to Noxie than I thought I would be able to. You know, we have quite similar experiences. In what sense?
Yeah.
Great. Well, well, you know, I mean, my father was in his 50s, also dated young, and then, you know, I also kind of felt neglected for a little bit, but, you know, we grew up, and then we also realized that, you know, my father can also live his own life, in the same way that Noxie also eventually came to that realization as well.
Sure.
The other two I cannot talk about yet. But you know,
just give us
I'm
a
very
little sneak peek.
Okay, fine, Netflix. So I think that's the sneakest peek I can give. But I'm so excited for them, fam. I'm juggling. I'm juggling. I won't lie to you.
I think you're just reaching bigger heights now.
I have to. You know, it's been a long time coming, man. That's why I really don't like it when people say that, you know, I get everything from my parents. Because, I mean, I guess I've learned to deal with it a lot better. But it's like, I'm 28 right now. A lot of the things that I have been wanting since I was 18, 19, even younger, are technically only happening right now. When people say that, you know, I get things because I was put on by my mom, put on by my dad or whatever, I'm so honored that they set a great foundation for me, you know, but they didn't necessarily have any direct impact on the jobs specifically, at least, you know, that I get. And had they had that direct impact, babes, I would have been on your soapies like in 2016 or 17 whatever. Actually, like, so when because if there's nepotism, then my parents are doing a very bad job at it. They're just doing a very, very bad job at it. They need to just, come on, do better. Like, come on, guys, nepotizing for real. Yeah, we're thinking from these, so what's the answer? Read from Christian,
Sure, okay.
Or like, what I could be a billionaire trainee. I could be a billionaire trainee with 2 kids and not have no worries, no problems.
Fully,
you know
I get that fully. I get that fully, man.
Guys, there's a trial of God, man. Lord.
So guys, we have reached a segment on the show where we have to play a game with our beautiful, beautiful guest. And on today's episode, we're going to play a game with Bahumi, which is pick one. So I'm going to give you a set of 2 actors or actresses, and you're going to have to pick one.
No, guys.
Yes, Bahumi.
Guys,
We're starting in 3, 2,
Please tell me they're American. Let's go.
1. Sandile M or Gwenzo Polo. I choose my kid. I don't think it's that
Okay,
hard.
in terms of what?
Acting.
Fine. Me, I'm just gonna pick the one.
Don't explain.
I have to.
Don't explain yourself.
I have to. I pick Sandile because Gwenza deserves it. Uncle, you know what I mean?
I'm not Amata or Cousin Gamer.
I also didn't watch the show enough to know, to be honest.
Really?
Really? Oh no, I won't like this. I don't watch the show enough to know.
But you do know the faces.
Yes, I know the faces.
Okay.
I know the faces.
And who do you think is?
But I know their faces. I can't tell if they get actors by their faces.
Let's choose one. Okay.
I refuse. I'm not trying to have somebody like side eye me the very first time they meet me.
I
Small industry.
Come on, YouTube show.
No, I'm sorry. This one I can't. Let's skip. I can't do this one.
Okay, Cindy Dlatu or Banele Sakwan. I knew it. No, I knew that was coming. Okay, between Jack Mabaso or Spusiso Domo. And that was an error, ne?
Ooh. Jack has that thing, man.
It's the club. Yeah.
It's the club. Definitely
Okay.
Jack. Definitely
Okay.
Jack.
Jack Mabaso.
Yeah, Jack Mabaso.
Okay, one last one. I think this was just so interesting.
Okay.
Ntombi or Karabo?
I won't lie to you, because of a sass, I'm going, oh my gosh. And I love me, look, ne, I love me some Connie Ferguson. Please cost me. But Ntombi, I won't lie to you, that character, oh, she had that sass, man. And I got we see, so you know what I mean? Like Okahaba was like, you know, she was good, but she was a good girl, you know, she was a sweet girl. You
Okay.
know? Ntombi kind of was like news.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's get to know the young Bahumi.
Yes, true, man.
You know, let's get to know the young Bahumi. What was going through her life in her bedroom? You know, what did she used to do in her spare time when she was alone in her bedroom? Yeah.
So as a kid, I really didn't have much time in my bedroom because it was never just my bedroom, to be quite honest. So, and it was always fun because I was always, you know, with somebody else. So growing up, it was the very first bedroom that I had was my great-grandmother, which was my grandmother, my late-grandmother's mother. It was my aunt, which is my grandmother's daughter, my father's older sister. It was her son, Woli, and then it was me. So all 4 of us shared a bedroom, right? And and then my great-grandmother would sleep on the bed. And so the memories that I have, you know, Sponchini would just be Woli peeing on the bed. Us kicking it. I'm talanga. Yo dog, I mean I was young, I was 6 years young, I was like, look, I'm talanga, Njani,
As you know why I'm saying when I was to work.
Oh, Banele. Please ngawuza man.
No, because something I was wondering, and I didn't understand what's going on with me. Like every day, like 10, 9, Banele, what you manje?
Banele, where's Tina Begno Pagete? Kona la, net la, I'm guess was fun.
But like,
I'll poop.
I'm fake, but cut. Okay, and then that was the bedroom. You chatted with your cousins and
with my cousins. It was just always fun. There's just always something to talk about. You know what I mean? Like they started us to go to bed early, and, you know, and it's figures ngala. I was catch up with you and I'm flanje. So yes, bonus ban. That's so. You know what I mean? It was just always fun. And then when I lived with my mother, it was myself and my brother, and then when we moved, obviously we moved to a bigger home, and then it was myself and my sister. So my mother adopted someone, and then which is my sister now, my besta, but she also she found her family, and so we still chat and whatnot. We still consider each other siblings, but thank God, she was able to find a family and reconnect with them. But we shared a bedroom as well. The one time that I actually had my own bedroom, which was later on in our lives. So then my best and I split, obviously, because we had our separate bedrooms at this point. And I was just like, I was just always like experimental, you know what I mean? Like I used to paint my room, I painted my room blue. I used to take videos, pictures, things like that in my room. I was that person, man. I was just always like fun and vibrant. So I think I got that from growing up with people, and it was just always fun. So the bedroom has always been like a fun place for me. And then obviously when I grew up in varsity, well, not obviously, but like when I grew up in varsity and then I got my own bedroom even then, it just became my safe space to just do whatever then. So I would not only just have fun there, but I'd also cry, vent to God, just be myself. My bedroom was just always like my safe space, So yeah, I'm just, like you said, the purpose of the show is, for you to just be in a safe space, be you, do you, and that's exactly how it was in my bedroom. Yeah.
So, this is just like a random question. Have you ever snuck someone in your bedroom? Or have you ever been snucked into a bedroom?
Banele. Wow.
Kanjani nisi emakamera bathi konzakalani kanti ngoba thina siyakhuleka ngale mlomo yethu. Mina ngisho ngiyangixabuza abafana ngemlomo yenu. Ngikhuleka ngayo le mlomo yenu.
No, to be fair, no, I've never snuck anyone into the bedroom, and I've never been snuck into a bedroom either. No, I don't think I'd want, and no shade, no offense to the people who have, but I don't think I'd want to. I think I'm the nyonyo being type. I feel just so already. I don't know. I just feel so horrible. Like, you know what I mean? So, no.
Sure, okay.
When?
Boring. So let's move on. Let's move on.
I'm going to show you. So, bagabak sneak up into a bedroom. And he's like, Nakata.
Can you hear me? Let me tell you a fun fact. I think I've once been caught sneaking someone in my bedroom, but because the character on the right and they're in that level. But
must be nice.
They've never told me, but now when I'm my actions, I'm saying, I've once snuck someone in my bedroom. Was.
How old are you?
But
how old are you?
I was really old.
Banele, you're not that old. How old are you?
In the month.
In
the month. You know what? They look she man.
So what, man?
They're part of your man. Hi man, hi, abay, niyazi, ay.
Banele.
Hampanya kinandila. Like those things, man, and I think those are some of my biggest experiences about growing up in the Gaza, because chiki bangenya bisa, boring.
Oh wow.
But tell us about one of your worst or best moments that you've had in your bedroom.
Obviously, the crying moments. I've had and I've had like a number of bedrooms as a kid, feeling misunderstood by your parents, or sometimes, neglected, things like that. Those ones would be very, very hard, because I'd be in the bedroom. You know how weird it is when you're crying in the bedroom about somebody who's in the house?
Sure.
It was always just so... Sorry, ma! But we live, we grow, we learn. 2020 was like a very, very hard one. This one is actually like both, like it's simultaneously a good and a really hard moment. I was crying. I'd lost a lot of friends. Ended a relationship. It was just like very hard, very toxic in the midst of 2020. So it was very, very sad. But it was also, without getting too much into it, it was also like So I was very very deep-ro, and I think I just said like this one prayer, a very real prayer to God. It was actually even like where you at? You know what I mean? Like, are you even there? Type of thing. And in that moment was the very first time, I think, in a very long time that I truly felt, you know, his presence. And it became a very good, I guess, new season, a new uplifting moment for me, and it became like a very, very awesome good. So yeah, sometimes, you know, the good can exist in the bad, and that generally all happens in the bedroom.
Thank you so much for coming once again. I appreciate you so much. You know how much I love you, and with every chance that I get, I do tell you how much I love you.
I know you do.
I appreciate you.
Voice notes, guys.
Yes,
they're the sweetest. Like they're the sweetest. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bahumi.
I love you, B. Love you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
And that was it for today's episode of Bedroom Chats with Bahumi Mhlongo. Please make sure to hit us up on our social media platforms and let's meet in the comment section and tell us all your best moments that you've experienced or that you've seen on the show. And from me to you, bye. And that was it from today's episode, guys. And this week's shout out goes to this comment right here. A big shout out to you, and if you want a shout out from me, please make sure to hit our comment section and give us the best comment and tell us what you think, tell us what you feel, and give us some insights. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.